This video is going to be very intense, and I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to communicate what I want to try to communicate in this video. I'm going to talk about the brain injury that I sustained from protracted withdrawals from a medication that I never should have been put on in the first place for my chronic illness. I'm going to talk about what happened, how bad it got, and where I'm at now. So, 3 months after taking the final dose of tapering off a medication in late 2022, I went into protracted withdrawals. At first, towards the end of the taper and coming off, I was getting some anxieties and some sensations in my head and body, but nothing that really overly concerned me because I have a pretty high tolerance for that. I can sort of ride that out as best as I can. But 3 months later, it hit me and I went into protracted withdrawals. I'm in touch with a support group that sees this happening all the time, the most horrific things that happen to people. I don't know how to put this into words. I don't want to use the word mental hell, but I can't describe any other way what happened in my mind. The receptors are ripped open, the chemistry is thrown into chaos, and the brain is unrecognizable. From someone that is very positive, like myself, everything went into chaos, and every negative emotion, every dark emotion, every hopelessness, every overwhelm, everything that I just could not even rationalize away, it was just insane. And at the same time, I developed an OCD where I started counting every time people would talk. I would count the number of times people would talk, and it wasn't just the thoughts just coming up. The emotion associated with it was intense beyond words. It was just the worst thing ever. Like my brain was stuck, that I would feel a dread every time these thoughts would come, and other thoughts would come, that when the thoughts would come, my body would shake and jolt. My head would feel tense and just like broken, throbbing. I can't put it into words. I'm struggling to put it into words. Unless you've been through it, you don't know what it's like. You can't explain it away because your brain chemistry has messed up. It won't allow you to think properly. And the OCD was the worst part of it. My brain's so stuck like that. I can't explain it. There's nothing else I can actually try to do to explain it. Now, what also happened during that time is I stopped sleeping. Maybe 1 hour a night on average for 5-6 weeks. I was highly wired. It was like I was wide awake despite not sleeping. Nothing I could do to get to sleep at night. Anxiety coming on, depressed emotions, overwhelm, basically just wanting to not be alive. Like, I just couldn't see a way out. I would get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, fall on my knees and cry and just say, I'm stuck. And no one could understand what's going on with me. At the same time, going through a chronic illness which put me in a physical prison and not able to do anything. I couldn't even distract myself. I couldn't look at screens much. I had to sit there while this was going on in my mind, and the one distraction I would have, which is talking to people, was causing me overwhelming anxiety because of the counting that was going on. I cannot even describe the level of difficulty. I've opened up before about my chronic illness, but I tell you what, I feel like I would rather have every bone in my body broken than go through this mental chaos that I went through. And people have gone through it and done crazy things in those states too. I didn't want to die. I wanted to live, but I saw no way out, no hope, no future. Everything was just hopeless beyond words. You can't think straight. The brain is doing crazy things to you. And I was never going to do anything to myself, but I would picture going into the kitchen and getting a knife and plunging it into my chest. I would picture being in the car and another car colliding into the side of me to take me out, or jumping off a building one day when I was at the shops. I could picture these things. I wasn't going to do any of them, but I at the same time wanted to escape from this situation. Like, it's hard to explain, but I know that I just have to persist. I knew that there's nothing I can do. I just have to persist. It's just crazy beyond words. I would be going out, if I could go out, rarely, and look at old people and envy them, thinking that they're going to die soon, and I just don't want to be here. I mean, so that's the intensity that I went through. Someone who loves life, someone who is positive, someone who's motivated despite all of the setbacks and chronic illness I've gone through. That's where I was at. Now, like I said, I was never going to do anything. It's not even a consideration whatsoever, but I just had these images and things coming into my mind. Now, what happened after 5 or 6 weeks, I started sleeping again, which was a huge blessing. But the intensity of the things I was going through lasted very strongly for many, many months. And just overwhelmed each day, hopeless, each day feeling stuck. My brain is broken. My life is never going to be normal. I'm not going to be able to enjoy conversations with people. I can't even enjoy listening to stuff. And with the physical limitations at the same time, it's just overwhelming beyond words. Now, what's happened is things have gotten better over time. It's been 15 months. Healing has come over time, but I've still got these thoughts that are there, very much stuck. And sometimes they've faded in and out, but rarely. The intensity of the emotion around it has decreased. A lot of the chemistry in my brain has healed more, where I can feel more at peace and see things clearer. But I still feel chaos in my brain. My body still jolts when I get certain thoughts. My head still feels not right. It's tense. It's aching. I'm told that it can take a long time to heal, and I'm grateful that I have people that are helping me through this journey, but that's what I'm going through at the moment. And it's so hard to go through this while at the same time having a chronic illness where you can't do much. So it's like you're sitting there, laying there. It's hard enough to do when your body's struggling, but when your mind's struggling at the same time, I mean, it's just overwhelming. This is what I've been going through. Many of you don't know this. I just wanted to open up and tell you. And the reason is because I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of mental health things. Now, mine was caused by protracted withdrawals. I'm grateful for the improvement I've seen compared to where I was. But at the same time, it's so hard because I want to be back to normal, and I'm still nowhere near that. So everything I'm doing, I'm putting out videos, which is a blessing. I'm connecting with people, which is a blessing. Behind the scenes, these are the things that are going on. I spoke in the last video about my physical illness. And in this video, I'm talking about the mental stuff that's happened with the withdrawals. I just feel like so much has happened to me. I just can't believe it. I never imagined this could happen. But at the same time, like, I just recognize that things are the way they are, and I've got to make the best of the circumstances that I've got. I spoke in previous videos about the 3 perspectives that help me with my physical health, and it's the same with the protracted withdrawals. And number 1 is that I can live out God's purpose, even if that looks different to what it did before. Even in the small things, I can take those steps forward. I can glorify God with where I'm at, exercising faith in the midst of this overwhelm. That number 2, His grace is sufficient for me, and I can rest on Him and in Him each day. Not worry about tomorrow, just to get through today, and He will help me through that. And number 3, the eternal perspective that the suffering will end at some point, no matter what good or bad happens in this life, and that there is a greater purpose that is being lived out right now. It's not easy. It doesn't make things easy. It is so overwhelming. I hate going through this. I don't want to go through this. I'm sick of going through this. I don't know where my brain will end up. It's overwhelming, but I just need to hand that over to God and do the best that I can. I'm going to remain positive. I'm going to remain focused on what God's called me to do. I want to rest in Him, cast my anxieties on Him because He cares for me. And I want to keep ministering to you because it is a great blessing to me. And I just pray that opening up can help people feel less alone, can feel encouraged to persevere, and just that it will be a blessing in whatever way it may be in your life. That's why I'm opening up. I don't like opening up like this. I don't even want to talk about these things or think about these things. But I pray that it can be a benefit for people listening, and that any of the suffering is not lost and is not for nothing, and that God will refine me and use this to help other people. Thank you so much for listening, friends. I'm going to put links on the screen to my other videos opening up about the things I've been through. Leave your comments below. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your love and your care and your comments. I appreciate it so much, and I'm so blessed to have all of you in my life. God bless you, and talk to you soon.